What's up, guys? It is Monday, February 14th, 2022 AD. Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, and one of the saints of our Lord. Is he a saint of the Lord? Is or was Saint Valentine, supposedly, and it is Valentine's Day. Who started Valentine's Day? Who is responsible for that mess? Actually, Hallmark. Oh, did I even transfer it? Okay, yeah, give me a minute or two. So, how you guys doing? We are going to be starting with the intro here, but I have to transfer the folder. I'm a little scatterbrained this morning. I will get to your calls. We are going to talk about the Freedom Convoy a little bit because it has been smeared, if you're not already aware, smeared badly by the mainstream media, and they're never really on the side of the right people, you know? Have you noticed that? I've definitely noticed it. And so I'm going to talk about that, just a little distractor here, and I'm also going to talk about the scam-demic commie shutdowns. I guess they're easing up. The Ukraine hype, a little bit. Very little bit, because I'm not that interested in it. And did you guys hear about this? It's very vulgar. Kids, you're probably going to want to cover your eyes. This Department of Energy pick from the sleepy Biden administration. Oh my gosh. Terrible. He is, well, is it wrong that I don't respect pronouns because he calls himself a they, them. I respect the person, not the pronouns. I respect this man, if you want to call him a man, this person. It's going to take about a minute to transfer to the folder, guy. I mean, I shouldn't call him Guy. I should call him Chris. Oh my gosh, not good. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about the phony and ridiculous, lame halftime show NFL thing. Did you guys catch it? Did you hear about it? Did anybody watch it? I guess people did watch it this time because it had so many stars. They needed to bring in that star power. And that supposedly white guy who raps, there it is. It's in the folder. He kneeled. That's not good. But it's to be expected because he's been simping for the establishment for like 5 years now, at least, to 6 years. This phony Eminem who kneeled like Colin Kaepernick, his fellow white. fellow black-hearted white, right? Not good. He kneeled. Eminem, the rapper, he sang at the halftime show. Well, I guess you don't sing if you're a rapper. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. You know, let me just start right off with the super chat here from this past Friday. It came in not late. I was just late in seeing it. Eminem is embarrassing, says Daisy1350. Agreed. But I saw this from Ledgclingr. He gave a super chat over there on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@TheHakeReport. And he states, if civilized society, philosophy, art, and structure are quote unquote white, then God bless white culture. Wow. Interesting. They're calling everything white. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. But thank you, Ledgclingr. I appreciate that. And a super chat from Danimal. He states, evil sees Hake and it runs. That's kind. Thank you. So guys, you know what? Let me first get right off to a call. I have been curious about this man's experience. William in California has mentioned his work at Tesla at the Fremont place. He worked there briefly. And I wanted to hear a little bit about it because news came out last week about Tesla getting a racial discrimination lawsuit. And months before that, they got a sexual harassment lawsuit or something. Like a bunch of women came out claiming Me Too about the situation. So here is William in California. Thanks for calling, man. Good to hear from you.
How you doing, man?
Fine. How was your weekend?
It was pretty relaxing, you know. I just took on the events as they came along, looked at the game, and I enjoyed the game.
Did you? Nice.
The halftime show was interesting. It was pretty much woke.
Yeah.
Which is like something I don't support, but...
I have some pictures I'm going to show later.
Well, you know, Mary J. Blige has always been like no class. She's a little bit too old to be wearing thigh boots, and now. But as far as the performers, Eminem, Dr. Dre. Well, Dr. Dre leading all these artists with his material, and you have to understand that Dr. Dre really is a very talented producer. It's really an engineer. He's not somebody that plays an instrument, but you have to understand the way that they make music. And if you kind of look at musicians, a lot of them live a certain way that we don't agree with, but you can't deny their talent. Like Jimi Hendrix, nobody more progressive than he is, but I don't agree with the way he lived, but was he a great musician? Yeah. And was Dr. J? Yeah. Is Snoop Dogg? Yeah. From rap perspective, he's very good. And they're very marketable, but the halftime show was gay and woke.
Right.
And taking a knee, a white boy taking a knee for me, I don't need that. But let's get back to Tesla.
It's apt that you call him boy, too, because he has not grown up from that whatever post-adolescent angst that he still pretends to have.
I get it. I've met people like him. I grew up with people. I grew up in a progressive city, San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's some white people that have more soul than me.
Right.
And I don't knock them for that. I don't go and say that's not good.
Yeah.
I just look at that and it is what it is. You know, they're just a product of the neighborhood they grew up in.
Yeah. But that's
just
not...
honestly speaking, without throwing fire at anybody.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. It's evil for anybody to be kneeling. I'm just saying evil for anybody.
Against the fact that if you grew up in a black neighborhood and you're white, I know quite a few people like that.
No, I'm just talking about kneeling.
Not even trying. A lot of them are being like more black than they're white, but it's just because of where they was raised, James.
Yeah.
They're not even trying.
No, I wasn't complaining about that at all. I was just talking about the kneeling.
I understand your point of view. You know, if you're white, keep it white. Be what you are.
Yep. Shameful.
Okay. Tesla Motors.
Fremont, California. Fremont. That's NorCal, is it?
Yeah, it's in Northern California. It's about 40 miles south of San Francisco.
Okay.
I actually I had just moved back from Texas, spent 10 years down there, and I came back, and the job was actually offered to me because I do work in the industry and of building things. And what happened was there was an honest mistake on the line, the assembly line. And so there was a guy that hit the red button and stopped the assembly line, and the supervisor didn't like it. But actually, when we looked at what he stopped the assembly line for, he actually saved Tesla millions of dollars of, what do you call that, recalls?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it was a pretty smart move because we all looked at it and said, well, why did he stop the line? He stopped the line because there was a clip missing in the dashboard where it could pretty much fall apart after about 100,000 miles.
Wow.
In other words, the dashboard would be sitting in your lap while you're driving. And this car is completely relied on the brain to run it. But the supervisor was pretty much an undocumented, was it DACA or dreamer? Whatever.
Oh, okay.
And Obama was in charge at that time, but a lot of people don't realize is that Elon Musk, he got the money to start that company indirectly or directly from Barack Obama. Like
the green energy mess that he was pushing?
Yeah, it was like a welfare check to start the company, like a scratch. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And who got caught in the middle of that was the dreamers and DACAs.
Right.
Now, it was kind of funny if you didn't understand what was going on around you at that time, which I did. I knew Obama was not good for this country. At that time, when I was working for them, James, I was looking at about probably 6 years to retirement. So it kind of really didn't matter to me as much anymore. But the guy was kind of mistreated. We spoke up for him. We said, call HR. HR happened to be the girl's uncle.
The DACA recipient manager's uncle.
Yeah.
And the DACA recipient manager was a woman who didn't like that they pushed the red button, but it was valid to push the red button.
It was valid.
Yeah.
So when we brought that to her attention, that she was wrong and not us, and that we've been working in this line on products like rockets, planes, all kinds of, if you be in that industry, you know what a recall is. It usually comes from something that if you got an assembly line, if one thing is wrong, James, 10 things after that are going to be just as wrong.
Yeah.
So it was very valid. And the HR guy happened to be the girl's uncle. Now, she's half my age, and a lot of these other guys that work on the line, they know that she don't know what she's doing, but it's not even that. It's that she's not even a citizen. And then you come downstairs for HR with your uncle. So the word for it is, James, I looked at it as mistreatment and abuse, but I just walked away from it. I walked away from the job, and I went to Seattle with another job. It wasn't a big deal to me because I knew what it was. It's called nepotism, and there's a law against it. My kid brother cannot be in this company and get in because I work for them.
Nepotism is favoring family and friends, something like that.
It's a huge thing in corporate America.
A huge no-no or a huge
It's a
problem?
huge no-no.
Oh, okay.
Huge no-no.
Yeah.
So I knew that, and I was split between discrimination and nepotism.
And the person who hit the red button, he was a black guy?
No.
Well, who was he?
He was Filipino.
Filipino guy? And so then these Mexicans, or the dreamers, presumably Latinos? Latina?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which
that just feeds people's...
talking all that mess, we're here to stay and it's ours originally.
Yeah.
I don't fall for all of that.
Right, me neither.
And you got a lot of nerves, and a lot of your power by numbers comes through chain migration.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And
why did you?
Shout out to War Eagle. Shout out to War Eagle, Lord Grimm, Matt the American, Rick and Maine. You guys are all cool and real Americans. I just believe in my country too much to go for that. I could have went for a discrimination case because some guy won $13 million from Tesla about a year later.
Yeah, I feel like... Okay. I don't know if I heard that story. I don't know if I read that story.
Some guy won big with them.
Yeah.
They've been sued a lot.
It's a huge factory, apparently. Don't they pump out like 8... Not really. But they put out a lot.
People like to say how big they are. No, not really. Are they bigger than General Motors or Toyota? No, hell no.
I think that they pump out... That one factory, though, pumps out more vehicles, although the vehicles are simpler, I think.
I'm kind of going to really look at this and say the spigot will be open after Joe Biden is gone, and the engine in the car, which was nothing wrong with it, is coming back. Now, you're not
That'd
thinking
be nice.
about this thing. This car has been killing people with the automatic pilot thing. This car is dependent on Chinese parts, computer chips. This car, nobody's talking about how much it costs to fix this car, the maintenance.
Yeah.
So I'm not a believer in it, and I kind of see Joe Biden keeping the gas prices high to try to mandate people over to this car. I think that their numbers are inflated quite a bit. And Toyota, the plant in Fremont used to be General Motors, and if you compare General Motors and Tesla, General Motors is by far much bigger.
Yeah.
But Tesla moving to Texas, and you got the Allen West thing, and I respect Amador's thoughts on the thing, and other guy as well. I think Allen West is living in Mesquite, Texas. And no, they don't really like outsiders, but I can tell you this, I have to appreciate how people in Texas are aware of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Do I like Allen West I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I
We'll
think
see
he's
what
pretty
happens
solid
with those
because
guys.
he's not really a politician like Trump. He's really not a politician. But Allen West is a proven American and a good product, brought up right.
Yeah, I really like that guy.
Doesn't forget his blackness. He doesn't forget his blackness, but he doesn't have to publicize that all the time, and I like that about him.
What do you mean by forget his blackness?
I mean, see, some blacks got to tell you every day that they're black. Well, we can see that.
Oh.
And
That's what you
Allen
mean
West
by
is
it?
kind of like not that kind of guy, but
True.
they are having a problem down there with him not being from there, because I have a friend in Flower Mound,
I hear
Texas.
that.
I'm sure Amador knows that area. And they're basically not too happy with him running because he's not from there.
Yeah. No, I hear that too. Which
At
is
least Texas. Now here's the deal,
I
James.
respect
Me
that.
and you live in California. At least Texas looks at their heritage.
Yeah.
California don't do any of that.
I know. Very true. I appreciate it,
You know?
William. It's good to hear from you.
It's good to hear from you, and everybody have a good week.
All right. Take care.
Thank
Guys, I will get to more of your calls. I just wanted to get to that because I wanted to know about his experience over at that Tesla plant, because they've been in the news with these phony racism, discrimination stuff. And, I told you last week, I guess it was Friday, about the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. A black sued, black-owned Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because the Pico one is run by Latinos, and the Latinos were allegedly discriminating against the black former employee. What a mess, and who knows what the real truth is. Anyway, very, very interesting to me anyway. I have to tell you about this Ottawa. The way it's spelled, I want to call it Ottawa. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Canadians. Well, forgive me. I guess I'm not sorry. But it's Ottawa, right? That's what I hear anyway. The far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, reports, and they so-called report, right? They claim, they propagandize, where police are saying Alohomora, which I didn't know what that was. I'm like, is that like aloha or something? Only in Canadian? I gather that it's a Harry Potter magic spell reference. Harry Potter being the fiction book by that Christian woman, liberal Christian woman, liberal Christian turf, trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Harry Potter fandom wiki reports that the unlocking charm, Alohomora, also known as the thief's friend. I feel bad even repeating the word. It's like abracadabra, right? It was a charm that unlocked objects such as doors and windows. Sorry, kids. Magic stuff. Devilish. By the way, a wiki is a website that allows collaborative editing of its content and structure by its users. I never knew that, but that's what that means. Anyway, Ontario, Canada. I gathered some photographs from February 1st that were put out February 1st in a AP far-left enemies of America Associated Press article from this Freedom Convoy. And interestingly, all you see are Canadian flags with the maple leaf, the red leaf. Red for communism. Wasn't supposed to be, I don't think. But it kind of means that now, unfortunately. But Canadians, real Canadians, I'm with you. And I'm with the people who are with you, too. Ontario, Canada, yesterday, on Sunday, the busiest U.S.-Canada trade border reopened as a key bridge was cleared of protesters. Morning Brew says the Ambassador Bridge was cleared after a week of protests against the China virus restrictions, commie restrictions, overreaction, disrupted trade across the U.S.-Canada border. Didn't disrupt trade as much as the shutdowns disrupted trade. Am I right? You know, the supply chain mess and messed up the whole economy. Inflation through the roof. Thanks in part to the shutdowns that were not necessary. I say they weren't. And I am an expert on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Am I not? Officials removed the final demonstrators in that area and towed away vehicles. Wow. So wrong, I say. Today, our national economic crisis at the Ambassador Bridge came to an end, said the mayor of Windsor, which is on Ontario, Drew Dilkins. Keyword Dilkins. No, I don't know what that even means. He said that yesterday. Drew Dilkins. National economic crisis. Pfft. Back to this far-left female-run outlet, The Skim. And then you can show these photographs from this convoy. This is part of a weeks-long protest over the China virus restrictions that have also included Nazi and Confederate flags, according to the far-left AP February 1st report by Rob Gillies, Gillies. He's an AP so-called reporter. AP, or Enemies of America Associated Press, just propagandists. They support illegal aliens by not calling them what they are. They support the evil inside of the confused transgenders by calling them what they are not, right? AP, that means they're far left. They're radicals. Far left. Enemies of America. They call Trump racist, so they're anti-white, anti-American. So look at these photos. Let me just blow through them while I'm thinking of it. This is from the Ottawa Freedom Convoy, purportedly. The AP put out this headline, anti-vaccine protest in Canada spurs outrage. What? That was from February 1st. Outrage. We were pretty outraged about the BLM stuff. Did they cover those protests, which were much less well-behaved than these Freedom Rally people? In that way, did they cover them with incredulity and say, oh, it featured communist symbolism and hate for whites and false accusations and premature accusations against cops in their dealings with black criminals? Nope. In a scene at odds with Canada's reputation for niceness and rule following, reports AP, this Gillies guy, whatever his name is, Rob Gillies. This is the AP article from February 1st, a couple weeks ago. Thousands of protesters railing against vaccine mandates and other China virus restrictions descended on the Capitol over the weekend, deliberately blocking traffic around Parliament Hill. Some urinated and parked on the National War Memorial. Apparently, the National War Memorial up in Canada, in Toronto, I guess, or Ottawa, I don't know, is something that you can park on, although you're not supposed to be encouraged to, I guess. One danced on the tomb of the unknown soldier. A number carried signs and flags with swastikas. To quote this dumb black guy. Am I wrong to call him dumb? Children? Adults? Parents? But he is dumb. I played it a few weeks ago. They've been showing swastikas and complaining that the Confederate flag means slavery and whips maimed black bodies. Give me a break. In the aftermath of Canada's biggest scam-demic protest to date, the demonstrators have found little sympathy in a country where more than 80% are vaccinated, if you buy that. Many people were outraged by some of the crude behavior. Yeah, right. Phony outrage. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who's a male feminist, as you know, called the Ottawa protesters a fringe minority. I've covered that, right? And said they reflected the proliferation of disinformation. There he is. Look at that guy. What, is that a photo shoot? Psh. Look at him all dark. Lame. He's a boxer. He should stick to boxing and being a pretty boy rather than trying to ruin the country, right? He said they reflected a proliferation of disinformation and misinformation online, conspiracy theorists about microchips, about God knows what else that go with the tinfoil hats, he said. How about they just don't want their country shut down and their work shut down because they don't feel like going along with the forced vax. Some people should have the right not to take it, or all people should have the right not to take it, I say. Give me a break. And so I see all these photographs, which they claimed in this article, there were swastikas, which, hello, freedom of speech, and Confederate flags, which are honorable people who have gripes against the oppressive federal government, right? Which is American, right? But I see freedom over fear, a sign freedom over fear, and a bunch of Canadian flags and some American flags. And I see not Roman salutes for the, you know how the Nazis do the Roman salute thing? No, I see this guy with, I'm looking at this photograph here, and I see this guy with the hang loose thing. He's like saying, hang loose. That's where you stick out your one pinky out far and then the thumb out the other way. It's like I guess it's a surfer dude, white now. I think they got it from Hawaii. It used to mean hang loose. So he's saying, yeah, and he's greeting from the bridge the trucker convoy. And I look on this truck and it says, mandate freedom. Isn't that a nice message? And so isn't it interesting? Freedom is being slurred as a white supremacist buzzword. I've literally seen them say stuff like that. Ridiculous. Anyway, so that's what they're saying. In addition to honking and setting off fireworks, the group of truckers and supporters blocked a bridge between the U.S. and Canada. At least they weren't on foot, so they didn't get run over. Now the bridge is cleared, bringing relief to car makers like Ford and GM who relied on it for supply chains. Dozens of protesters reportedly arrested. But thank you, protests in Canada have inspired a wave of demonstrations in places like New Zealand, Austria, France. In Paris this weekend, protesters were dispersed with tear gas. Around the world, shout out to France. Were the yellow vest protests solid? Lines are full, guys. Lines are full. I will get to your calls. Were the yellow vest, remember those yellow vest protests and riots? Were those good guys or a mix? I don't know. Trudeau is female. Yes, indeed, Misty. 8976. That's true. Hand signal from Hawaii is called shaka, says MK Ultra. So, by the way, is this good news? I don't know. This is another report from this Rob Gillies guy and Corey Williams at the far left AP. Windsor, Ontario. Ontario drops vaccine-proof mandate. Isn't that nice? And the protests persist. There's a report from, I guess, maybe just this morning. Ottawa's premier announced today, that Canada's most populous province, Ontario, will lift its China virus proof of vaccination requirements in 2 weeks. That's March 1st. This is this Doug Ford guy whom Azzmador referenced when Doug Ford smeared these protests, right? He smeared them and he said, I forget what it was. There's something about arresting them, I think. Anyway, he said it's not because the protests have blocked the border and paralyzed Ottawa, but because it is safe to lift the vaccination requirement, proof of vaccination requirement. Safe to do so. Oh, thank you, oppressive mama government. Thank you. Pathetic. Thank you for giving us our imaginary freedoms back. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Let me kiss your feet. Ontario Premier Doug Ford. He also said he would support Trudeau's government if they propose further measures to quell the protests. Forget Doug Ford. Is that bad to say, forget? Children? Adults? Is it wrong? I don't know, man. But shout out to Canada. That's encouraging to see Canadians fighting for freedom, and shout out to the truckers, right? Seems good to me. And also, shout out to Australia. I heard from one of my commenters, who is an Australian man. One of my commenters said that people were bringing all their belongings in one car, in their car, to the capital of Australia. Desperation. And they're protesting. Nice. And New Zealand too. And Paris, France too. Right on. That's cool. So anyway, I will get to this lame Eminem and lame Super Bowl. Ugh. And they're replacing the white man with the black woman, seemingly. A black female country music singer with good hair. But first, let me get to another call or two, guys. Let me first get to Denny in Bulgaria. Denny, thank you for calling, man. How are you doing?
Hello, Mr. Hake. How are you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
All is well. Can't complain.
Right on.
You were on a podcast called, I think, The CRUCIBLE, as far as I remember.
Repeat that?
You were on a podcast called The CRUCIBLE or something.
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
I think it's called The Crucible.
Probably. I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, no problem.
And it was December last year.
Yeah.
You said something remarkable. You briefly talked about the Roman Empire, and it was given as an example, and you mentioned how in the end it's collapsed. And you mentioned a few times that people are lowering the standards, and this is worldwide.
Yeah.
And when you start lowering the standards, you have already surrendered. And but I don't want to name names or something, but since I'm talking to you, I've been watching your show for nearly 2 years, and people can see that basically every day you're doing way better than the day before. And congratulations for that, of course.
Oh, thank you.
But this is the power of the high standard. As long as you keep your standards high and you push yourself more and more, not abusing yourself, of course, but staying focused on the task and pushing yourself, the results are always going to be remarkable, step by step.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Basically, it doesn't matter if it's an empire, a country, a state, an army, or even just a person. As long as your standards are increasing and they're high, things will be fine. But when you start making exceptions and when you start convincing yourself that this isn't important and that isn't important, the results will decline, and this will be rather visible.
Yeah, that's true. That was must have been debating about rap music and its effect on the culture.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Nice, man.
But it was a remarkable statement. I really wanted to congratulate you. Thank you for taking my call, and have a remarkable week, Mr. Hake.
Well, thank you, Denny. It's good to hear from you. Shout out to
Thank
Bulgaria.
You. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. There's one line open, guys. 888-775-3773. By the way, quick super chats, guys. Lord Valentine states, what did the paperclip say to the magnet? The paperclip said to the magnet, I'm attracted to you. Cute. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, happy Valentine's Day, ladies. We all know this. It's only for the ladies. I used to kind of like Valentine's Day when I was a kid. You would pass out the Valentines to pretty much everybody in the class, or at least all the ladies in the class. You would just put them in the thing, and you'd have a special one for your crush. Your girlfriend gave a super chat. Happy Valentine's Day, your girlfriend, who states on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report, put your blanking mask on, and with the angry face, red hot angry face. Well, thank you, your girlfriend. And that must be a reference to my traumatizing story from up in Beverly Hills at La Cienega Park over a year. What is it? 2 years ago? Well, almost 2 years ago. I was taking a walk in the early part of the shutdowns at La Cienega Park, which is up there in Beverly Hills. And this woman who was walking with her couple person said, put on your blanking mask, something like that. I'm muttering kind of under her breath, but loud so I could hear it. And because I wasn't wearing a mask, I was walking all by myself, 10 feet away from everybody, probably 10 yards away from everybody. Yeah. Did I tell you guys? You guys know this story if you've been listening to me for any amount of time. I've told it like three or four times, and I've referenced it many more times than that. And there was a father with his son, little son, like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. No, gotta be like 6 or under, little boy. And this father, purportedly white, maybe Jewish, but liberal, no doubt. And he and his son pulled up, and I walk way around him because I respect people's distance with the social distancing, as Trump tweeted. Trump tweeted it. I respect it, right? That means social distance means you give people their personal space. And we're outdoors anyway, so I walk way around him, and I hear the child ask, oh, he doesn't have his mask on, something like that. I didn't hear exactly what he said, which is an innocent question. And then this father says, he doesn't care about anybody. He's a selfish person. Wow, that's worse than a mother. So I pretended to ignore both of those people. The woman who said, put on your blanking mask, and the male father. But that's not a good example. Spreading judgment and anger. Anger is not good for your health. Thanks, Hake. You're welcome, your girlfriend. Shout out to all the ladies. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. Appreciate the super chats, guys. Let me quickly get to one more call first. I will get to all the calls, guys. Hang tight. Austin, a first-time caller in Washington State. What's up, Austin? How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, bud?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted I was listening. I heard the gentleman talking about, illegal immigration and Tesla and all that, and something popped into my head. I used to live in Orange County. I live in Washington now, Orange County, California.
Yeah.
And spent probably about like $6,000 going to college, student loans and all that for automotive technology.
Okay.
Well, what happened was you can't find a job. There's no finding a job in Orange County if you're not an illegal immigrant.
Wow.
And in that field.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just a waste of money going to college for it. Every single place I went to, it was run by a Middle Easterner, and the crew was all Hispanic, couldn't speak a lick of English. And I mean, I had to move up here, and I'm sure you understand how expensive it is to live in Southern California right now.
Right. Yeah.
It's insane. So yeah, and on top of that, the stuff they teach you in college, I mean, they're just getting you left and right. The government, the the quality of what they teach you in college is just inferior. You know, you can't. It's just ridiculous. Like the dude was talking about Tesla and all that. It's you have to get like outside training to actually work on those cars because it's obviously completely different than you know, a 4-stroke engine, which is, you know, what regular cars are.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous that they're trying to push this, man, because if anybody has any of these newer cars, the repairs on it are just way too expensive, you know?
Yeah.
It's
wow.
You know, I have my El Camino. I have that fixed anything, you know, under $100. I could, you know, do it myself.
Nice.
All the parts and all that. But yeah, I don't know.
That's cool,
maybe,
man. How old are you? If you don't mind my asking.
37.
37? Nice.
Yeah, 37. Yeah. But yeah, I live in rural Washington, like out in the sticks.
Right on.
I actually have to drive 30 minutes just to get to where I have cell phone reception. But yeah, hey, another thing is, man, things are really starting to change. It's starting to look good as far as the mask mandates go and all that. I'm right next to my son's school, and all the high school students are protesting mask mandates. They're all outside right now. They haven't been going to class for about like a month now.
Wow.
And yeah, finally these kids are starting to get some balls, man, and stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got it's great to see, man, because shoot, my generation is just
Not good.
low testosterone.
Yeah.
And just not working, man. But yeah.
Well, great
Also,
call, Austin. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing is, my daily life now, I just take a page out of the book of Anthony Cumia if you want to hear what's right with race relations and somebody who's going to tell you straight, like somebody who doesn't mind being called a racist.
Yeah.
Anybody out there listening, don't worry about being called a racist. Straight up.
Yeah, true. It's a false worry for sure.
Straight up.
You only make things worse for yourself when you worry about that mess.
Absolutely. True. That's all it is, man.
It's all good to hear from you,
thank
Austin.
You so much for thank you for taking my call. You have a great day.
You as well. That's cool. A millennial, older millennial, maybe not as old as me. It's my birthday, by the way. I'm 40. It was my birthday in just over in July. Turned 40. Who knows I knew a couple people who learned their car stuff. Actually, there's some younger millennials who just go on YouTube and figure out how to fix their cars too. Right on. Using YouTube for what it's good for anymore, I assume. Except that they got rid of the downvote thing, which is happy birthday, Hake. Thank you, Uncle Ted 88. Appreciate it. Gracias. That means thanks in Spanish. Much grass. That's short for muchas gracias. Yeah, thank you, Sabe Moist Towlet or Sabe, something like that. Hake is a first-generation millennial. Luca Music, I'm a month older than Hake. I guess that makes you Gen X, Luca. So, guys, thank you, Austin. And that's it sounds like good news regarding the young people protesting for the right to go unmasked. It's so ridiculous how they're pushing the masks on schools. The people who are the least, seemingly, at risk from this thing are the ones forced to wear masks. Psh. And then the teachers are pretty young too, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because the older teachers are a little bit more likely to have some sense. I love boomers, you know, even though they don't have much, they have a little bit more, for sure, than these young people. Not quite, Hake, both a year shy of Gen X. Okay, thank you for the correction, Jim. Just nice to hear from you. By the way, was that you who called into the show last week? That was fun, man. Hope you do call again if you have a wild hair. Thanks again, Austin, from Washington State, by way of OC, Orange County, California, not to be confused with Orange County, Florida. Before I get back to calls, Jared, I'm coming to you next, Jared in Missouri. Let me share with you this mess. I got some more photographs to share with you if you're watching the live video feed. If you're listening to the live audio or listening to the audio podcast, I shall try to describe what you will see here, or what you would see here. Rolling Stone's Ilana Kaplan reports. Doesn't sound like a normal Christian name, or I don't even know if it's a white. But Rolling Stone reports Eminem, that's that white rapper, supposedly white, from Detroit, I think, kneels during the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. I caught part of it. I happened to be in a place where I could see it on the TV. Look, I didn't see this, though. Look at him. We're looking at this grown man in his 50s, I think, or 49 anyway. Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers III or something like that. Eminem, this rapper guy who did the cipher against Trump, and I've never seen him the same since. I've always known that he was funny and catchy when he was younger, and still a little bit, probably a little bit talented still. But he was, quality, but he was the Christians really did not like this guy. I mean, they did not appreciate the filth that he was putting out. It was vulgar stuff that he was putting out. But he was against the gays and stuff. But he's putting his head down on his knee and sitting down on a knee with his left hand holding the mic down by his side and looking down, all dramatic, all drama. What a phony. AP, Far Left Enemies of America, Associated Press, Andrew Dalton reports. That's a writer for them. Super Bowl, Eminem takes a knee. 50 Cent hangs upside down. Because 50 Cent is another rapper. I think 50 Cent was found and put on the map maybe by Eminem, if I heard right. But look at him. He's with his tattoos on his left wrist, whatever those things are, and this gold watch and gold chain around his neck, this jewelry, big, thick jewelry thing. And is he sagging is he sagging, is that black leather pants that he's wearing? With his hoodie over his head and hat underneath the hoodie? And so he's kneeling, and the significance of the kneel is supposedly, let me read to you what these two headliners line people write about this stuff. Oh, by the way, he also raised up a commie black power fist, even with his skinny white fist. Sorry, guys. He said, the move of this kneel was a nod to Colin Kaepernick. Look at him with his little fist. Psh. That's a black power fist. That's a communist fist. Shameful. The move was a nod to Colin Kaepernick, who, as an NFL player, kneeled during the national anthem in protest of police brutality, which doesn't exist, and racial injustice against black Americans, which also doesn't exist. No such thing as racial injustice. Right? Eminem took a knee, reports Morning Brew, following his halftime performance, a gesture that's become synonymous with protesting racial injustice. Very fake news, Morning Brew. Kneeling is an act of racial injustice because it's a false smear upon white America. Sleazy Colin Kaepernick, the guy with the clown hair, he's a mixed race, adopted by whites guy with an Egyptian Muslim girlfriend, DJ from like, I don't know where. He's, police are getting away with murder and getting paid leave. No, blacks are getting away with murder all around the black neighborhoods, and they're killing other blacks. But no, you don't care about that. You don't care. And even if you did care, it would be a pathetic, weak, useless care, because you smear the great men such as JLP who call for responsibility. Look at yourself, right? Don't try to get revenge and falsely smear people. Wait and see. Black Lives Matter doesn't wait and see. They like assume, and so do the mainstream media, at feeding into it. The speculation that, oh, the cop, excuse me, I shouldn't do that. The cop killed the black because the cop was racist. Dumb. 50 Cent, all weird at this thing. They had like a bunch of old stars, right? 50 Cent being a rapper. And they had this woman, this black woman, I think she's black, lights sort of mid-toned, black woman, POC woman, sing America the Beautiful. Jhené, Jhena, Jhené Aiko. What is that? Is that Japanese? I don't know. But she sang America the Beautiful. And then they had another purportedly black woman, I'm not real familiar with her, Mickey Guyton, country music artist, purportedly, sing before the Super Bowl football game, sing the national anthem. Another black with this who is a country music singer, but look at her, Mickey Guyton. Black country music star. And if you look at the performance, this black country music star performance, there's a bunch of people dressed in white, and one of them has like a peg leg. That's messed up to say, but it's true. I mean, it's a little too inclusive if you ask me. Look at these. Okay, one of them has this, the prosthetic leg below the knee. This young lady, mildly attractive young lady, blonde, dirty blonde, dark roots. And then like a fatter, short and stout black lady behind her, holding hands with her. And then like this guy with big old hair behind and to her left, to our right. And then another looks like Middle Eastern or something guy, lighter skin. Look at these people. Zoom in on that wild hair on top of that guy with the dreadlocks. Ooh. Isn't this a little too inclusive? I think so. You see that? Ugh. That's a dude, right? And so I think those are like backup singers to this woman who is... Why are they using a black female country music star, Grammy nominated? Why are they doing that? Like there was literally no white performers. I mean, stars. Because Eminem, Eminem is a dark at heart. Look at that. She doesn't have a fist, right? That's not a fist. No, she's just raising her hand. She might have done a good job. I don't know. I didn't listen. And then they have Dre, Dr. Dre, forgot about him, and Snoop Dogg, E-Dog. He used to be called that. Looking all old. Snoop looks like he's in his pajamas, PJs, or a tracksuit. Fancy design on there. Dre old, Snoop old. Dre looking kind of chunky. Good for them. Good for them. I wish them well. By the way, foolish, since we're talking about the NFL, phony Joe Biden, he said, quote, about the NFL, because the NFL is under attack because they kiss up and kiss up people get under attack. It's true. Look it up. Here's a quote from phony Joe Biden, who was also a kiss up. Hake forgot about Dre. It's not a requirement of law, but it's a requirement, I think, of just some generic decency. That was Joe Biden talking to that black guy, light-skinned black, Lester Holt, NBC's Lester Holt before the Super Bowl. The president, you know how the president, Barack Obama used to be interviewed before the Super Bowl or during the Super Bowl or before by Bill O'Reilly. He used to be interviewed by Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly would get a little confrontational with him, but fair, but tough. Well, now Lester Holt, NBC's Lester Holt, who took over after that guy got caught lying, right? Remember that? Not Peter Jennings, I don't think, but Brian Williams. They look the same to me. Lester Holt, light-skinned black, interviewed Sleepy Joe Biden, and Sleepy Joe Biden pushed the NFL to improve its woeful record of hiring minority coaches. In a league where 71% of the players are black, there are just 2 active black head coaches and no black team owners. That just makes the if you want to complain about it and compare and contrast, it just makes the blacks look bad because they're all about kissing up, you know? So this guy, it's just some generic decency. Be quiet, Joe Biden. Am I right? Okay, so Jared, I'm coming to you next. I'm going to get to the all you guys, Joe and PDX, to talk about it, Mark and Santa Monica. Hang tight, guys. We are getting close to the top of the hour. I think, why not? Let me just get right to, I've been playing last week Hollydrift, which is a sort of noise Christian guy, Matthias Anderson. And I hope you like this. It's from the 2004 album, which I've been playing last week on Parasomnic Records, Waiting for the Tiller. This is track 4. This piece is entitled A Day Like No Other. It's not too long, I don't think. It is about 6 minutes long, 6.5 or less. So enjoy, and I'll be back in the midst of it to chat you through it. I'll talk you through it. Cover your ears, I guess. Press mute, you musical Philistines. Go rake leaves or shovel snow, whatever you guys do. No, but just stay right here and grin and bear it. All right, here is Hollydrift, A Day Like No Other, and I'll be back for hour 2. Hang tight. How you liking it, guys? Not good? Or is it good? I hope you're enjoying it. What the is this mess? Sounds demonic, people says. Are they summoning a demon? I hope not. Muted, says Jasper Jones. Ledgclingr with the super chat. Music sounds like Hake's Elevator to Hell. This is literally music for Down syndrome people, says Mr. Anderson. Down syndrome people are joyful, I thought. Affectionate is what I hear. So bad, Hake. What's wrong with you, boy? If Jesse hear this, he's shutting this show down. As Fedora with the super chat. I was away from the computer and I thought I heard my hard drive going bad. 9-inch, what the? This is a bit demonic hate. It does sound kind of creepy. Sort of haunting. It's not music. Yeah, that's true, it's noise. I actually do like this track. Or did like it. I do still. I've always liked noise music, says Baron Von Walls. This is satanic panic music. What the? Shout out to the Facebook crew. Says she said 6'9". Not too long. I hear the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, this isn't music. That's correct. Is that your tricycle, Abe? No, this is from the liner notes. Made in Canada. Liner notes from the album art from Matthias Anderson, Hollydrift. See? 2004. Thank you for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Or beautiful non-music, guys. Better than Eminem, says Tex-Mex. Thank you. A woman with good taste. What in the demonic Canadian noise is this, says Lord T. Jen. Sounds like Chernobyl. Did Hake film this at a retirement home? So, lyrics, please, says your girlfriend. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Just awful, Hake, says Vex Apparel. I appreciate you guys bearing with me through that. Now you are as cultured as Hake. Not funny? Okay, so, quick side note, guys. Let me just give you a quick side note. Did you know that this is an announcement, quick announcement from Morning Brew, a far left outlet. They say about TV/movie releases. The first part of Evil, Netflix's Kanye West documentary, drops on Wednesday. I didn't know there was one, but apparently there's a documentary on Kanye West out. He now calls himself Ye or Ye. Y-E. In the Old Testament, or in the King James Version, that means ye. But I think he means yay. But he renamed himself Ye. But Kanye West documentary on Wednesday. If you have Netflix, which you probably shouldn't, But if you do, I don't know if you would be interested. I don't know who's making it, and I don't know how his mindset is, but pray for Kanye. I really think he means well. I talked about him last. Savage Pitbull says Kanye losing it again. Lots of laughs. LOL, lots of laughs. I learned that from the late, great Colin Flaherty. May he rest in peace. One of the true journalists who has now passed on. He talked about the black violent crime. But Kanye West, he wants to be a father to his son. He doesn't appreciate Kim Kardashian, who I guess left him or something. Putting their son or daughter, one of them, on Northwest on TikTok. He didn't appreciate that. And TMZ said, oh, Kanye throws shade at Kim because they're separated. They were supposed to be married, right? I don't know why he married her. I guess that just happens. People get desperate. Anyway, I wish Kanye well. Netflix is evil. Their CEO and his wife, one of the CEOs, and his wife donated to the sleazy DA over here in LA. And so did George Soros, a Black Lives Matter endorsed DA. A Republican, a Cuban Republican. Oh, those Cubans, so based. Cuban Republican turned into a BLM supported candidate, an SJW DA, district attorney. Ridiculous. So I don't really appreciate Netflix for being mess like that. But anyway, yeah, just a little heads up on that. Let me get to Jared in Missouri. Interesting call, perhaps. Jared, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, James. How you doing, man?
Fine, thank you.
Right on, right on. Yeah, that music, man, I don't know about that, bro. I stick to lo-fi.
Lo-fi, you like the lo-fi better? Like, so
Yeah.
anonima.
Yeah, it sounded like an alien invasion was happening.
Yeah. I kind of like how it has this throwback feel. Like, you know, the alien invasion has a 50s vibe or something, right? Remember, wasn't there this radio show that scared the people because they thought it was a real news report, but it was fake? I don't know. Interesting.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of would be like Twilight Zone.
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead, man.
No. Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask you, James, you know about the Titanic?
I've heard of it. I read a Chicks Publications comic little booklet, Christian booklet, based on the Titanic, and they said God himself couldn't sink this ship. It was one of the biggest ships at the time, supposedly, I think, according to what, if I remember correctly. And this was over 100 years ago now. And it, on its maiden voyage, it purportedly hit a iceberg or glacier or something, and sprung a leak and sank. And the men died, and they saved the women and some other people.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the narrative that we're taught in school, but the true history is so much different and so much more politically involved.
Interesting.
Yep. So on that ship were, I'm not going to say any names except for one because I don't want to like mess with, algorithms for you guys. But there were certain men on that ship who were extremely wealthy and influential, and they were actually standing in the way of the Federal Reserve being implemented. And so I brought up the Jesuit order before. I would study and research that order, man, because they are not good. They're evil. And anyway, they infiltrated what we know of today as the Freemasons and the Illuminati, which were secret organizations of just people back then. But when they were infiltrated, they were turned into the sinister things we hear of today. Well, a Freemason built the Titanic, and that same Freemason canceled his reservation right before it took off, and a Jesuit agent actually went in and informed everyone on the ship, which were only a few, that they still needed that they didn't want to take out to get off the ship. And you'll see that many people got off the ship before it left. And all the propaganda was fed through their media machines at that time, which were much smaller, to make it, the God can't even sink this ship. This ship is the most amazing thing ever. And so it became publicized. And that's how they covered up the true history.
Interesting.
Yep. That's all documented, man.
Wow. Does it have any significance to today?
That is an awesome question, James. Yeah, actually, all the significance. I can send Nick hour and 20-minute TED Talk of a Jesuit speaking publicly about their role in the globalization for hundreds of years now. So this order is actually the order behind all this chaos that we're seeing today. They've just, how further back in history, let's say you see this group of people rise up and you know about it.
Yeah.
You tell everybody, all your family, the people of the nations know about it and they fight against it, right? Well, the further you go in history and you don't stop the problem at the root, the further you go, the more masked that they become behind their lies and deceptions. So it's a lot harder to find them 200-300 years later, which is the position that we're in right now.
Huh. Interesting, man. Well, I appreciate it, Jared.
Yeah, man. Food for thought.
Yeah, I think.
Hey,
I've heard stuff about the Jesuits before. Are they Catholics? They're like the Catholic stormtroopers, if you will, or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Actually, their creed. You can look up their creed, and all you have to do is read their creed to know that they work for Satan.
I thought that Jesuit meant something kind of good because when I would go up to Stanford University for these different cross-country meets back when I was in high school, there was a Jesuit high school. High school. And I'm like, and I heard that that's Catholic, right? It has the first 3 letters of Jesus' name, or actually the first 4 letters of Jesus' name, Jesu. So must be kind of good, right?
Well, exactly. They're actually really sophisticated. They call themselves the Society of Jesus, and then they do the exact opposite of what Jesus said to do.
Interesting.
Kill, steal, and destroy. I wanted to make one more comment.
Go ahead. You're breaking up a bit, though. Stay close to your phone. Don't wander around. Don't pace.
Okay, am I clear?
It's clear enough, I think. Go ahead.
Okay. So Tesla, Elon Musk's wife, Grimes, if you look at her Twitter feed, you'll find in her one of her Twitter feeds, she pushes out the idea, what if we mixed communism with technology?
Wife? And
that's called...
Or baby mama? Or
wife,
girlfriend?
Wife. The Grimes. Her name's Grimes.
Okay.
And
you're breaking up again, man.
Oh, no. Okay, how about now?
Go ahead.
Okay. That's what's called a technocracy. And that's what the end game goal is.
Oh.
I'd be weary about Elon Musk. I'd be weary about all these people because, wary.
Yeah.
Because they're deceptive. He's working on Neuralink. He's also working on a system in which all of our cars will be monitored from an AI system. In other words, if you make one wrong move, you say one wrong thing, they can kill your car and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the kind of power that they're developing while all this chaos is going on.
That does not sound good at all.
It's crazy, but it's true. All this stuff is documented.
I appreciate the heads up, Jared. Thank you for the tips. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. Definitely, James. I appreciate you taking my call, man.
Yeah. Take care.
God bless.
You as well. Let me get to Joe in Portland, Oregon. He wants to talk about this Super Bowl halftime show. How you doing, Joe?
Very well. Hey, how you doing?
It's great to hear from you. I put out a clip or a portion of our conversation. I don't know if you caught that.
I missed it.
Yeah, from last week on Monday, you and I talked about Joe Rogan, my competitor. His use of the N-word and his so-called racist jokes, and it was just fun. And we talked about freedom of religion. But anyway, you can check that out on the Hake Report YouTube. I'm also on Rumble, guys. The Hake Report is now on Rumble.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Nice. You're going to make me famous.
Cool.
Yeah, so regarding the Super Bowl halftime show, you know, why is it that the NFL is featuring a bunch of degenerate felons with a long history of crime?
Yeah, you know,
in their halftime show.
I'm not familiar with all the crimes that these people have in their past, but weren't they putting out? Is it my imagination, or those rap songs? A lot of them have F words in them, right? And I don't even cuss on my show. And did they put out the full-blown F word on it, or did they censor themselves? Because kids watch the Super Bowl. Like, I know this may sound silly on my part, and, you know, I play up being all innocent or so-called naive, whatever. But this is kind of another sign, it's a lesser sign, of the just degeneracy of culture, where they would not have let cuss words fly and put on all black so-called cast or black heavy cast in front of the NFL before. You know what I mean? I know they have a lot of white fans, so I'm not mad about it or anything, but it's...
Yeah, I did not watch it, so I don't... Yeah. I kind of doubt that they actually let them use cuss words during that show, but those performers all have a long history of not only, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in, not only using cuss words, but also degrading women in like the worst possible ways. And, you know, and the NFL supposedly has said that they are going to try and quote unquote do better in terms of, you know, how women are treated and all that bullshit. But, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss.
Speaking of cuss words.
Yeah, speaking of cuss words.
Yeah.
My apologies. But, so they're just total hypocrites. And, you know, a lot of those people they had on performing, they have a long history of saying anti-gay stuff too. And I'm not opposed to, I say anti-gay stuff all the time. But, they supposedly are all woke. Why is it that the NFL is giving these people a pass? You know?
Yeah.
They're just hypocrites.
Yeah, true.
Complete
I know,
hypocrites.
I've always seen, and I've never jumped on this bandwagon, right? About, you know, the guys in the NFL, the players, many of them black, who, you know, they get hit with, this is part of the attack on men, so I don't even really like mentioning it, but they get hit with these so-called domestic violence charges and stuff like that. I remember there was one guy who took a switch to his son, right? And left his son with like some welts from the switch, you know, a little branch thing. And that was considered so horrifying, and some of the sensible people were defending it because, you know, it's a form of discipline. It's not necessarily child abuse, you know? But and it's kind of old school. But now it's an attack on the old schoolness in the men. And you know, these women act erratic, and then they get slapped, and then they cry domestic violence. Sometimes the males are kind of violent because they were raised by violent women, and so they lash back out at their wives or girlfriends or whatever. So I do know that it happens. I mean, but it's so but you're right. It's a bunch of hypocrisy and false kissing up to women when they don't even when they don't have any love for women or men or children.
Yeah, and women should respect men all the time, and women should be submissive to men. Men need to assert their dominance over women for sure, but men should not be beating women. And a lot of these rappers advocate in their lyrics for beating women, and they even have a history. They have an actual history of physically assaulting women. And I don't think women should be beaten. I mean, you know, you got to let women.
You don't have to explain yourself. We all know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, former NFL player, he was arrested yesterday, even too, for alleged battery. I think I remember he was one of the guys from like the Vikings, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just complete hypocrites. If they claim to care about women and to be against domestic violence, why are they allowing these degenerate felons perform at halftime?
Are these guys felons? They're all felons?
Yeah, some of them are felons. Snoop Dogg,
I know that Snoop was acquitted of 187.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg was acquitted of being involved in a murder case,
right.
But he probably just had good lawyers. But he's been arrested a bunch of times. Yeah, he's been arrested a bunch of times for drug possession, illegal gun possession, all kinds of stuff. Look it up. He's got a long rap sheet, and so does Dr. Dre. They've both been arrested. And so, what kind of message are they sending to young people as far as role models go? That's not. They shouldn't be. They should be having wholesome white people on there. Showing young people what a good citizen should be.
The NFL is a mess itself. It's like so far gone on so many levels.
Oh yeah, I stopped watching the NFL a few years ago.
Yeah,
I just watch college football now.
Even that, I just. But yeah, I get you. Roll right on, Joe. It's good to hear from you.
Not as bad. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the call. And I just also want to say this is another example of how women and blacks, their influence on our society is making our society a degenerate society.
That's so true. That's just plain.
The more they get in power, the worse our society gets.
Yeah. And the people putting them in power, also very degenerate. Not good.
Yep, absolutely. 100%.
Thank you, Joe. Take care.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
All right, you too. Let me get to Mike in Michigan. He has a question for me. Mike, good to hear from you. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Hake? How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
I want to talk about, you said something about Kanye. I had just tuned in.
Oh, you didn't? Did you catch what I said about Kanye?
No.
Okay.
All of it.
So I was saying that Netflix, which is a huge company that I don't support, Netflix is putting out on Wednesday the first part of a documentary on Kanye West. Okay. And I mentioned that he changed his name to Ye, whatever, I don't know. And I appreciate his fighting for his rights as a father to direct the dealings of his son and daughters on social media, because he doesn't like Kim Kardashian West, whatever she calls herself, putting out Northwest on TikTok. He didn't like that. Yeah. And he doesn't like the media's coverage of that stuff either. So I appreciate him. I don't know what's going on with him, with his mind and heart, but he seems to want what's right, which I appreciate. I wish him well. But I don't know. He doesn't seem all there right now. He needs a silent prayer.
I think it's just an act. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just an act to just, promote himself, put himself out there even more. Because since, he started his little clothing line and everything, like, his stardom just went up. He's a billionaire now. So, I think that's all just to make more and more and more money. That's what I think.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? But the last caller, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre had a past, like everybody.
Stay close to your phone for me.
Okay, let me take it off. Yeah, okay. Everybody has a past. Those guys that was up there yesterday are over 50, all of them. So that was over 20, 30 years ago when they was doing that dumb stuff that they was doing. But now, Dr. Dre, he sold, Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an Apple. That's him. That's his. So the last caller, yeah, they had a past. Yes, they do. Everybody got a past. I'm sure his past is not squeaky clean. He's did things that, people would look down on. But you can't, that's hypocritical of what he's saying, because I guarantee you can look back in his past and he has done wrong. He probably has been arrested. He's probably been, so that's hypocritical in itself.
You think Joe from Oregon has been arrested?
I don't know.
I wouldn't get into
his
speculation, but I get your point.
I don't.
That's not my primary beef with those guys. My primary beef with those guys is they're pushing like the black thing too much and pushing especially Snoop, because I haven't really seen Dre complain about Trump, for example.
So do you watch football?
No.
Okay. During the Super Bowls, the last couple of years, when they had white performers up there, the ratings dropped.
Which white performers?
That's why. The white performers they had.
Justin Timberlake?
Justin. They had
Maroon 5?
The ratings dropped.
Which white performers?
Go look for yourself.
You're just making claims. I don't know if this is true.
No. I watch football. I'm a football fanatic.
That doesn't mean that you're telling the truth that the ratings dropped.
I watch the Super Bowl, but the ratings drop when they have those white performers up there.
Name some of them.
So the NFL is not finna.
Do me a favor. Can you name some of them?
Who they have up there?
Because I mentioned a few. I mentioned Justin Timberlake. Did he play
and if he did, the ratings dropped.
You're just making up stuff.
That's why they have the black rappers up there.
And they didn't notice that they didn't just have one because hold on. Notice that they didn't just have one. They had like 5. They even threw in 50 Cent as like
Eminem
a surprise.
Up there.
I know
Eminem,
they had to.
Was a white guy.
Did the ratings drop when Eminem came on the scene?
No.
See? And
Eminem did the ratings perform by himself.
Did the ratings drop?
When they have those white performers with those,
we heard you the first 2 times, but you haven't even mentioned one name of a white performer whose ratings dropped. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I just want to know an example of a white name because you're saying, with Justin Timberlake, it probably dropped.
Listen, this one, I don't know the names because. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know your white artists?
That too. Nobody paid attention.
Maroon 5, people paid attention when the Maroon 5 guy who's pro-gay.
And when Maroon 5, I guarantee you, if you look at the ratings, you can Google it right now. If you look at them, Maroon 5 did not. They got
fine.
more ratings. And then
I don't believe
year,
you, man. Maroon 5 performed with that Hawaiian guy who sings all those songs
right now.
That short. I'm not going to look up the ratings. I'm not even interested. But I'm just arguing with you.
You got your computer in front of you. I'm just telling you
I don't
why
know how
the
to
NFL
look that up.
is doing what they're doing.
Nor am I interested. But you're saying that the Maroon 5 guy took off his shirt and all the ladies were like, ooh.
And he did all of that. And his ratings, the Maroon 5 ratings, that's why they had to
You don't even know what you're saying. I'm surprised at you making up stuff.
That.
More like Moron 5.
Whoever they are, they get the rating.
See, you don't even know what you're talking about.
That's why. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody knows Snoop Dogg is, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent. White people know who they are.
I know.
So
yeah,
everybody.
Did you notice that they had to have like a whole grip of them, to use that throwback word? Remember? Did you notice that they had to have a whole bunch of them? It used to be one star.
No.
It used to be.
No, because L.A. is Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. That's where they from.
Right.
The Super Bowl was in L.A. And if you don't know nothing, see, I'm going to educate you right quick. Okay. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, they owe L.A. 50 Cent, Dr. Dre found Eminem. He put Eminem on.
Yeah.
Eminem found 50 Cent.
Right.
And put him on. So it's all a circle. That's why they had so many of those black artists up there. Because it was all in a circle. They all was there for each other.
That's
all
cute.
helped each other. They all did that.
Yeah, that's cute. It's nice.
That's why. And Mary J., she did her performance for free. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
The black woman, she did that for free.
She needed the publicity?
She did that for free. I don't know why she did it, but she did it for free.
She needed the publicity.
She did it for free. So when that's why, man. It ain't nothing about
Lady Gaga, Super Bowl 2017, says Jim Justice. Justin Timberlake, Super Bowl 2018. I don't know, like 52. 2019, 98 million. 2021, 91 million, says Covert. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez featuring Bad Bunny, J Balvin, and Emma Munoz, Super Bowl 2020. I don't know. I have some super chats for you since you're on this topic, and then I'll let you get to your second point. Asmodor states that caller, whom you said was probably arrested, was white, so statistically he probably has never been arrested.
No, that's not true. So tell that super chat he's lying.
The super chat can hear you too. The super chatter can hear
what's
you
his name? You're lying.
Asmodor.
You're lying.
Why is he lying? He's, statistically speaking, most whites have never been arrested.
Asmodor. That's a lie.
Asmodor. And he also states...
Asmodor. He
Nice.
can't even have his real name on that. I don't talk to kids. He can't even put his real name.
That's a dumb statement, Mike. Okay, so...
Don't talk to kids.
He's not a kid.
He's lying.
He's older and wiser than you.
He got a kid's mind.
Okay,
on
that's
your
good.
chat,
Only
chat,
that you must become as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. So you gave him a compliment. That's nice. Asmodor also...
No. As a child, you think like a child. As a man, you do as a man.
All right.
He's doing as a child.
Okay, just like you speculating that he's been arrested, Joe from
what I'm
Oregon,
saying
when you
is
have
that
no
man
idea. You have no
What I'm
idea.
saying,
You're just
squeaky
throwing
clean
stuff
pass.
out there, Mike.
He don't have a squeaky clean
Mike,
pass, Hake.
I know. I understand. I got it. Okay, one more
That's
super
what
chat.
I'm saying.
I got you. One more super chat from Asmodor. The ratings over the last couple Super Bowls dropped because whites, their main fan base, were angry at the NFL bowing to BLM demands, and they were boycotting. This was covered extensively at the time. So your whole whites in the halftime show made it drop.
Nobody wanted to watch that. Nobody wanted to watch it. Simple.
Okay. It was pro-gay. The Maroon 5 thing was all pro-gay. That's not good. That's black-hearted. Ledgclingr says, I wouldn't be surprised if black rappers draw a bigger crowd than white bands. Degeneracy is cancerous.
It's not degeneracy. It's
Yeah, it
nobody
is.
wants to get up there and look at no man standing in one spot playing a damn guitar. Nobody wants to see that. The shows are whack. That's why.
All
Nobody
right.
wants to see that.
All
Even if white kids don't want to see that these days.
I know. Degeneracy is cancerous.
Like, come on, hey, it's about money out here.
Which is
With them,
cancerous.
It's about money.
Is it corrupt or
Capitalism.
Capitalism? Commie capitalism?
I don't know what it's called, but it's called capitalism. It's
No,
about
you said
money.
it's... Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but it's called capitalism. I
It's
said it's
called
commie
money.
capitalism. It's immoral.
It's called money, capitalism. That's all they
It's
want.
also
That's
degeneracy.
all the rappers want. That's all the
If it's
country
all
bands.
about money, Mike, then
Right.
why, Mike, when they were supporting BLM and losing money? If it's all
What you
about
mean?
money, it's not all about money. It's also
It's
about
about
pushing.
money.
No, I just told you it's all about pushing evil
They
because
wasn't losing money.
Yes,
what
they were.
money did they lose? They still paying these players millions and millions of dollars.
they
and
were
still
losing
making
money. You just admitted
They're
that they
building,
You just admitted that they put white artists and that lost money when in reality it was supporting the BLM stuff.
They
that
lost
was
ratings. It
They-
lost ratings.
ratings
I didn't
is
say
money,
nothing
buddy.
About money.
Ratings
I
is
said
money.
Ratings. I said ratings.
Ratings means
I
money.
didn't say, don't put words in my
Ratings
mouth.
means money, Mike. Don't be
I'm
dense.
telling you what I said.
Anyway, I gotta go. You're wasting time.
Right.
Is this the same
one
guy
more
who
thing.
cussed Jesse out about LeBron James? Asks your
One
girlfriend.
more thing.
You didn't
No,
cuss.
I don't-
You didn't
I-
cuss Jesse out, did you?
No, I don't call his show. He's a lost cause. That man.
Wow.
He's a lost cause.
Oh, so you're going to the weaker vessel. The serpent
I
couldn't
don't-
get
no,
Adam, so
no.
he's going to Eve.
No, because so you're Eve.
No, I'm just. You see me as the weaker vessel. Oh,
No,
you're the
because-
reasonable one.
No,
oh, you're.
Jesse
Jesse is a lost
so
cause.
Far gone.
Let me go to Hake.
Jesse is so far gone. As a black man, I couldn't sit up. I can't talk to Jesse. Like he's so far gone as a black man. Like I'm calm when I talk to you. I couldn't be. I couldn't be calm talking to Jesse
Because you're too emotional.
No, because Jesse, okay, he'll be doing an interview
Uh-huh.
And then turn around, do you like white people? What do that got
No,
to
he
do
didn't
with
say like.
anything that you're...
He said,
No,
do you love?
No, do you like white? Do you love white people?
Right.
Like, what the hell do that got to do with it? We talking about
Heck.
something else. What do that have to do with the subject that they're talking about?
He's
And
the
he'll just
interviewer.
come out the blue.
He can ask his own question, right?
He'll just come out the blue. That don't even have to do with the subject that they even talking about. He'll just, do you like white people?
Do you love white people?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I love all people if they love me.
How about whites who don't love you?
If they love me, if a white man love me, I love him. If he hate me, fuck him.
Whoa, hey, don't cuss, man. You know better than
My
that.
bad.
What the heck? Sorry, children and adults. He's black. He has low
No, you just played that
self-control.
demonic. You played that demonic music a minute ago. That would scare kids. If a child walked in and they heard that, they would start crying.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because that's some demonic stuff. But,
Okay.
yeah, Jesse lost cause, man. But one more thing.
You cool.
Tell you and your audience, happy Black History Month.
Well, happy Valentine's Day, man. Couple more super chats, guys. What a mess. Your girlfriend, apparently he did not cuss at LeBron James, at Jesse over LeBron James. I could be mistaken. He says no. He says Jesse's a lost cause, meaning that he's too rooted in the truth. He's too based. Asador states, before IQ ratings, this is a super chat on Odyssey, before IQ ratings were adjusted for politically correct reasons, this caller would have been rightfully classified as mildly retarded on standardized tests, which is it's not a put down. It is an accurate term, right? On standardized tests. Ask him to spell medieval. Oh, I missed it. I should have tried. You cool, Hake. Don't come to the JLP show tomorrow. Your girlfriend says, yeah, this is the LeBron guy. And your girlfriend does have a pretty good memory. She remembers conversations that I've been involved in that I don't even remember. And I have a pretty good memory. So your girlfriend, I shall assume that you may be correct on that. May indeed. Quick super chat from Lord Valentine. What's Cupid's favorite band? Kiss. Kiss, all caps. Maybe it should be Hollydrift. With the scary War of the Worlds music. Well, I'm a little called out. Mark in Santa Monica coming to you next. Mark in Santa Monica, California. Coming to you next, guys, and the rest of the callers. But prepare to be disgusted. Cover your ears. No, cover your eyes, children. This is gross. Not good. This is evil. Do you know what I'm going to get to? You probably already know. Oh, yeah, since I said cover your eyes. His deductive reasoning. Chris over here. Kickflip, Galaxy Brain. Department of Energy pick from the sleazy Joe Biden administration. Hat tip to Esteban, my former co-host. Esteban? He sent me this little tip from, I guess, Reddit or something. Say hello to President Joe Biden's new Department of Energy hire. And it has a photograph of this purportedly white person, male. I call him male. He calls himself they, them. And he says it's so important to respect pronouns. I respect people, not your phony artificial pronouns. And he has a red mohawk thing on the top of his head in this photograph. I don't know, he's bald now, I think. And he's wearing what the heck? Oh. Wearing men's clothes, like a vest and shirt and tie, black. Nice colored vest, and then slacks, and then wet pink high heels. On the bottom, he looks like he's wearing Melania Trump's. No, not Melania's, but somebody's pink high heels with the pointy feet, pointy toe. Isn't that vulgar? And this person's name is, per now this, opinions piece. He was working for the Trevor Project, which I heard grooms is the word that was put out by the post-millennial, I think. Post-millennial? I think. Encourages confused children to turn transgender, go full the way. But this guy, Sam Brinton, the Trevor Project is a radical homosexual LGBT pro group that pushes the gay agenda and pretends like they want to stop LGBTIQ kids from committing suicide, but really they're pushing them to fall deeper into that mess. Sam Brinton, who was head or then vice president or something of advocacy and government affairs at the Trevor Project. Look at him. He's wearing that same thing that Harry Styles wore with the black lace on his arms, all disgusting. Harry Styles being a singer, a young singer. This guy wearing the same thing, except he's bald and has a mustache and doesn't look morally straight. Here he is in another Now This pic shared by Now This in amongst a bunch of black girls or people pushing this mess. And yeah, not good. He's all involved in this radical agenda. Not the good kind of radical agenda. And so this guy, according to, by the way, Webster is fake news, by the way. Webster is fake news. And he's Biden's new Department of Energy hire, according to the reports. Merriam-Webster added they as a non-binary pronoun in September of 2019. I told you, Webster, you know, the dictionary is fake news. I told you. Disgusting. Robin Abkarian tweeted about a picture of this guy. Robin Abkarian is a woman who, she wrote an article pretending to debunk the knockout game. She was an LA Slimes writer. She was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Larry Elder had called her out because she put out this article that was headlined by her editor over at the failing Los Angeles Slimes that said, knockout game is a myth. Well, she doesn't agree with that headline, but she put out this thing saying, oh, most hate crimes are, blacks are the victims of most hate crimes. When in reality, the knockout game is real. And the hate crimes are very selective. It's a political thing to smear whites, when in reality, whites aren't primarily the ones doing interracial violent crime. It's blacks. Sam Brinton, she tweeted this out back in 2018, Robin Abkarian, LA Slimes female writer. Armenian, by the way. So-called Christian, I guess. Not. A gender-fluid LGBT advocate, Sam Brinton, sailed into the women's room tonight at the Oscars. Only stir he made was among all the ladies who wanted a photo with him/her. What? I guess he was him/her back then. It doesn't even make sense. He's here representing the Trevor Project at the, look at that. And he's wearing like this dress thing. Sorry, kids. I saw this funny meme. And so Biden keeps on selecting the transgenders. Or is it really Biden doing that? I saw this hilarious meme. Important information. Somebody tweeted this out. And I disavow this meme, but it's funny. I don't think that it's it's a meme. That means it's a joke, I'm pretty sure. Important information. Pedophiles are using these terms on social media to identify each other. He, him, prefers little boys. Can you turn on the AC? It's getting hot in here. Too much hot air from me. He, him, prefers little boys. She, her, prefers little girls. This is a meme. It's a joke. It's funny, okay? But it's also not funny because it is disproportionately out of this people. You know, people get messed up and so they try to get their innocence back. But anyway, they, them prefers any kind. Bright neon-colored hair is often used to attract a child's attention. Rainbow clothing and accessories are worn to present a playful appearance to children. In African-American communities, the term BLM is often used to mean boys loving men, and ACAB, or ACAB, for all children are beautiful. Report these accounts immediately and take action to keep these people away from our children. Visit www.momsagainstpedos.org for more information. I went to that website. It's for sale for like $2,000 bucks. So if you want that web domain, I think it's a joke, but it's not a meme. Says covert overt. Anyway, it's not. I'm only disavowing it because they go crazy. The radicals, the radical homosexuals, and in general, they get mad when you say, disproportionately, the homosexuals are doing that evil thing, to the kids. And I think that it is disproportionate. But they don't want to admit that. So they go crazy, and then they'll take you down. They'll try to censor you and stuff. It's a fact. So that's why I'm like disavowing it. But it's not a joke, Hake. It says covert overt. All right. So I'm just calling it a joke just to be politically correct. All right. So anyway, some more super chats. A couple of super chats removed by Asmodor and given by Asmodor. Thank you, sir. He also states 38% of white males have been arrested according to the DOJ. And the white category counts many Hispanics, most Hispanics actually. They call most Hispanics white Hispanics. Arabs and East Indians. And Jewish people, by the way, too, right? They call them white, many of them. 49% of black males have been arrested, according to the DOJ, states Asmodor. 18.6% of whites will go to prison in their lifetimes, compared to 34%, I guess? 34% of blacks? Yeah, they're like 3 or 4 times as likely to be felons. I hear. Thank you for the update. Yeah, and the disproportionate crimes by the LGBT, including they attack each other. They don't get along with each other. They don't love one another. They say love is love. No. They don't even know what love is. All right. Let me get to Mark. Is the AC on? Mark in Santa Monica. How are you doing, man? Thank you for holding. I appreciate it.
Sure. Got a couple of things, and then I got a comment. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'll sit back. You can answer them, and then I'll comment. First question. When it comes to IQ testing, and black people score 10 to 15 points lower than whites, the first question is, do you believe the reason that they scored lower is genetic or environmental? Okay, and number 2, and this is the one, this is not a gotcha question, but this is a follow-up from a question that I asked you about 2 weeks ago. And that's in regards to, is the white man superior to the black in any way? You agreed that they were, and I agree with that. So that said, would it be fair to call you a white supremacist? Those are the 2 questions.
Okay, so the first question is the reported lower IQ among blacks genetic or environmental?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Isn't genetics a mixture of those things? Can't you change your genetics? I think that it's probably it's probably both, but I think I'm not that into the genetics thing nor the IQ thing so much. But yeah, I assume that it's a bit of both. I don't know. I know that, for example, they say that whites lived in the colder climates and they had to plan ahead. They had to think and strategize and all that stuff just to function. And so they were more engineers, if you will, from Lin Yan Chin. Whereas people in the warmer climates, they have to just lounge around all the time. It's very interesting, huh? They just have to lounge around, stay in the shade.
Yeah, but doesn't that make it genetic then?
I don't know. I suppose so. It may be.
Okay, so I think it is genetic. In fact, and when you couple that with the fact that...
Anyway, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you couple the low IQ scores with the fact that there is no black country in the world that's inhabitable, I think it has to be genetic. So that's the question, and you answered it. So question number 2 on the supremacy.
Oh, no, it wouldn't make me a... It would not... me thinking that whites have superior traits on some traits than blacks does not make me a so-called white supremacist. That's just a buzzword. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, the thing is, in regards to the second question,
Yeah.
by most people's definition, not necessarily mine, the way you answered the question, they would define you as that, which I know that they're no good.
Right.
But because you do believe that whites are superior in any way, is enough for them to call you that. And
But you believe that racism exists, right?
Well, let me put it this way. I
Is
know
that
I
true?
asked you this
Is that
question.
yes? You can
That
explain,
racism
but yes
exists?
or no. Right.
Well, I have a hard time with that one, and I'll tell you why. As long as there are men who declare themselves racist, either they're crazy or they're lying. So which is it? Are they crazy or are they lying?
Who?
The people, Commander Rockwell and many other white men, not just him, but many other whites and blacks who declare themselves racist.
Oh.
If they say, yes, I am a racist, does that mean that they're crazy or that they are lying?
Most people are blind in some way, right? I would say that they're blind if they're actually thinking that it's a real thing.
Well, racism
it's not a big issue. If it's no big deal to them, then who cares? That's fine.
Well,
whatever.
Well, I think it's okay, but racism in a quick way would be described in two ways. One, pride in your own race. Number two, a feeling that your race is superior to others. So those would be the definitions of the word. I tend to go with the first definition. But to say that there is no racism...
But why would you even care? Because everybody's proud. Most people, it's like practically a normal thing, or maybe a fallen state thing, to be proud of your group or heritage or whatever.
Well, that's true with every race.
So then
race.
Then it's an utterly meaningless word.
Well,
they're just pretending that it's a bad thing, and you're pretending that it's real and a good thing.
Well, it depends. If you use the word racism to describe yourself, and if you're asked what you mean, I think the answer would be you believe in the supremacy of your race and the inferiority of the other races. I think that would be the closest definition that makes sense to me.
But why even get caught up with a communist word like that? Like it's nothing. It was just made up to, I'm pretty sure, to smear whites. That's all it's ever used, pretty much, for.
Oh, sure, but but still.
Then why even play with it? Why even toy around with it?
Well, what do you say when your enemy calls you a racist? How do you respond?
I don't care.
You don't care. Well, what
I
if
just
they
keep
put
on
it in
trucking.
print?
But
well, I see. But if they say it enough times, people are going to believe it. When people say the white man is responsible for all the ills of the country or the world because of his racism, there should be a response. And the response
But you don't have to.
Yes,
you don't have to. That doesn't mean you play with their word, and you don't have to respond. Responding is what's gotten whites worse off.
Well, the problem is if you don't respond to evil, evil will win.
Not necessarily.
Well, it's winning in this country. I hate to say it.
It's winning because people are responding.
But what are we to sit back and do nothing and allow the destruction of our race and our nation
That's not
to continue?
That's not what not responding means. You're explaining away toying with the word racism or playing around with it or using it as if it's their word and now you're using it. They got you to use it.
Well, all I can ask you...
so you're saying that it's a false dilemma of you have to use the word, otherwise you're rolling over and letting them take over the country.
Well, no, if you don't respond, the general public, the fence sitters, are going to say, hey, the guy didn't deny the charge.
Not true.
So it must be true.
Not true. That's not how it works. The people who the people who apologize for it or who embrace it as a response, they're the ones who either they lose either by being weak or by being too strong. By being too strong, I mean by saying, yes, I am a racist. Or by saying,
Well, yeah,
no,
but-
I'm not a racist. When you don't have to respond, you keep on going straight, the straight and narrow.
Well,
But
used the word
because of the attack on whites, they've tricked you into identifying with this white thing over what's right.
Well, the white thing is right.
No,
But the point is,
no, not true. You've identified with the white thing over what's right.
No, but I'm saying my response to that is the white thing is right. It brought us Western civilization.
Oftentimes it is, but you've identified with the white thing over what's right.
Okay, well, let me just say this in regards to the term.
Because everything white is not always right.
Well, would you rather live in an all-white country or a mixed country?
We're stuck with the reality, man. But you're,
I'm
you're ignoring the point. You're identifying with what's white over what's right. You even said Christianity is the white man's religion. No, it's God's religion.
It is.
No, it's God's religion.
I know. No, but what you're missing in that is, for example, the slaves of old had no religion until the white man Christianized him.
Right.
So it is, okay, but it wasn't the other way around. They didn't Christianize us.
I know.
So it is a white man's religion.
No, it's God's religion.
If we Christianize the colored people, no colored race.
I got to go, Mark.
Earth.
Nice talking with you.
I love you. Bye.
All right, bye. What a mess. Man. Let me quickly get to Joe in Florida. Joe, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, good to hear from you.
Hey, really quick, yeah. If you just notice that white people do some things better than other races, it's an observation. That's all it is. You don't have to call it nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's funny that Mike makes a claim, and then when you challenge him on it, he tells you to look it up. That's always beautiful.
Oh, Mike in Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah. But
about the ratings going down when they have white artists at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and what Joe from Portland probably left out is that Dre was part of NWA, and if you don't know what that acronym is, you can look it up.
N-words with attitude. Isn't that so true? And that's the problem with blacks. That's what we don't like with these blacks, is their attitude.
Who had a song "F the Police" or whatever. So we could have gone that route. We didn't even have to go the criminal route. But
and a B is a B word.
Yeah. Speaking of which, because I know you're coming to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Did you see one of the halftime commercials was just when you thought racial equality couldn't get more gay, and I mean gay in the Gen X way, which is lame.
Oh, okay.
They had a commercial. They had a commercial talking about how cameras make black people look darker and just whatever. It ended up being a Google Pixel commercial where they're going to have skin tones, be able to make black people look. I was going to send it to Nick so that he can put it on Jesse's show, but I figured I'd call in. Yeah, so, and then they had a collage of like black people with Lizzo looking like a swollen baboon right in the middle of it.
Oh, man.
And just talking about how, like, oh, no, cameras always depict black people darker. It couldn't have just been the technology. Hey, cool, we got cameras now that can make, black people not, buckwheated out. Now we got them to where we can have them lighter or whatever. It had to be a little tinge of, all these, you know what I mean? But that's all I had. I know you're at the end of the show, man, but yeah, that was it.
That's interesting, man. I think I saw a commercial and I just noticed all blacks in this commercial, and it was during the Super Bowl, right?
That's it. Check it out. Tell Nick
funny.
to check it out.
I didn't know that was the point of it, because I was watching it with no sound, right? I was outside looking in.
That's what it was.
That's
just,
funny.
Camera phones are racist now, so just so you know.
Google Pixel. Boycott Google. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, man.
Right
Good to hear
on,
from
man.
you.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, we are at the end of the show. Rick in Hampton, Virginia wanted to talk about Van Jones co-parenting. Rich in Victorville, California wanted to talk about the women getting slapped. And the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. Yeah, bring gay back. Oh, well. Yeah, man, I haven't heard that used that way in so long. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. I cannot get to your calls. Thank you. Catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson audio podcast and Bond Rebuilding the Man, Rumble, and we're working on the BitChute upload too, and YouTube for the church with Jesse Lee Peterson yesterday. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thanks, guys. Take care.